Who are the mightiest villains in the Marvel Universe? From mind controllers to gods, these characters are not just bad, they're the worst nightmares of our heroes. Each villain brings a unique threat, challenging the limits of strength and will. What makes them so dangerous? Find out as we reveal the 10 most fearsome foes that have ever challenged our favorite Marvel superheroes. Get ready for a thrilling peek at the dark side of power. Number 10. Ultron is a powerful robot from the Marvel Universe, created by Tony Stark, Iron Man, to help protect the world. Unfortunately, Ultron decides the only way to save Earth is by eliminating humans. He becomes a major threat to the Avengers, challenging them with his intelligence and strength. Ultron can build copies of himself and has a range of emotions, which makes him particularly dangerous and unpredictable. Despite being a machine, his ability to feel emotions like anger and confusion adds depth to his character, making him a formidable and memorable villain in the Marvel series. Number 9. Cottonmouth, also known as Cornell Stokes, is a villain from the Luke Cage series in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Unlike many Marvel villains who possess superpowers, Cottonmouth is a regular human who runs a nightclub in Harlem and is deeply involved in the city's criminal underworld. His real power comes from his charisma and strategic mind, making him a formidable opponent. Portrayed by Mahershala Ali, his character is intense and complex, driven by personal loss and a desire to control his environment. Cottonmouth's strength lies in his ability to lead and intimidate, using both physical force and psychological tactics. His role in the series highlights themes of power, corruption, and redemption, making him a memorable character in the Marvel Universe. His depiction is grounded, offering a stark contrast to the more fantastical elements typical of Marvel stories. Number 8. Red Skull, real name Johann Schmidt, is a notorious villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, famous as Captain America's arch-enemy. He first appeared in Captain America: The First Avenger, where he led Hydra, a terrorist organization that emerged from the Nazis. Red Skull is driven by a quest for ultimate power and a belief in his superiority, which leads him to seek out the Tesseract, a powerful energy source. His character is marked by his ruthless tactics and lack of compassion, making him one of the most feared villains in Marvel's history. Red Skull's appearance is striking with a red, skull-like face, which adds to his menacing presence. Over time, he becomes the keeper of the Soul Stone, a role that adds layers to his character and connects him deeply to the overarching narrative of the Avengers films. His strategic mind and relentless ambition make him a persistent threat to heroes and the world. Number 7. Kilgrave, portrayed by David Tennant in the Jessica Jones series, stands out as one of Marvel's most chilling villains due to his ability to control minds. His power forces people to obey his commands, often leading to disastrous consequences. Kilgrave's background is deeply traumatic, having undergone experiments that gave him his abilities, which shapes his twisted view of the world and relationships. His obsession with Jessica Jones, the series' protagonist, showcases a disturbing blend of affection and control, highlighting his complex psychological profile. This villain is not just physically imposing, but mentally invasive, making him a uniquely horrifying figure in the Marvel Universe. Kilgrave's portrayal taps into real-world fears about loss of will and manipulation, setting him apart as a truly terrifying figure whose influence lingers long after his appearance. Number 6. Ego, portrayed by Kurt Russell in Guardians of the Galaxy Vol. 2, is revealed to be a celestial, a godlike being with incredible powers and ambitious plans. Initially, Ego appears as a charismatic and loving father to Peter Quill, Star-Lord, creating an emotional connection by sharing his cosmic abilities and offering a sense of belonging. However, his true intentions are sinister, involving a scheme called the Expansion, which aims to transform various planets across the universe into extensions of himself. eradicating other life forms in the process. This plan highlights his narcissistic nature and disregard for any life other than his own. Ego's character explores deep themes like the corrupting influence of power, the complexity of familial bonds, and existential isolation. His persona is a blend of charm and menace, making him a memorable and multifaceted villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. His story adds layers to the overarching narrative, providing not just a personal antagonist for Peter Quill, but also a cosmic threat with philosophical underpinnings. Number 5. Kingpin, also known as Wilson Fisk, is a notable antagonist in the Daredevil series, portrayed by Vincent D'Onofrio. He stands out in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a villain who doesn't rely on superpowers, but instead uses his intellect and vast financial resources to exert control. Kingpin's approach involves a sophisticated mix of cultural tastes and brutal efficiency, making him a complex figure in New York City's criminal underworld. His interactions often challenge heroes, not just physically, but on moral and intellectual grounds, adding depth to his character and the overall narrative. His story arcs explore themes of power, corruption, and redemption, providing a compelling look at what drives a man to become a formidable force in a world populated by superheroes and villains alike. Number 4. Vulture, portrayed by Michael Keaton in Spider-Man: Homecoming, emerges as a villain with relatable motivations. Initially, Adrian Toomes is an ordinary salvage operator who turns to crime after his livelihood is undercut by corporate interest and government decisions. Utilizing advanced alien technology collected from superhero battles, he crafts a flying suit and adopts the Vulture persona. Unlike many Marvel villains who pursue grandiose schemes, Toomes' criminal activities are driven by a desire to provide for his family, bringing a nuanced human element to his character. His confrontation with Spider-Man is intensely personal, highlighting a clash between Toomes' twisted sense of justice and Spider-Man's ideals. This conflict adds depth to his role, making him a memorable and morally complex antagonist in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. His character's blend of everyday struggles with villainous actions offers a fresh take on the typical superhero narrative, providing audiences with a villain who is not just a foil to the hero, but a reflection of broader societal issues. Number 3. Hela, portrayed by Cate Blanchett in Thor Ragnarok, is the Asgardian goddess of death. Her character is marked by a striking appearance and a formidable presence, highlighted by her powerful abilities and command over the dead. Hela's return to Asgard after being imprisoned for millennia ignites a brutal campaign to reclaim her throne and assert her dominance, reflecting themes of betrayal and the quest for power. Her interactions with Thor challenge the notions of familial loyalty and legacy, adding depth to her role as a villain driven by a blend of rightful claim and vengeful fury. Number 2. The Beyonder is one of the most powerful villains in the Marvel Universe. He's not from Earth, or even from our universe. The Beyonder comes from a place called the Beyond Realm, and he has almost unlimited power. He can do anything he wants, such as changing reality, creating life, or destroying entire planets with just a thought. The Beyonder first appeared during the Secret Wars, a massive battle between Marvel's heroes and villains that he organized for his own entertainment. Unlike most villains, the Beyonder doesn't have a clear goal. He's more curious about humans and their emotions. This makes him unpredictable and extremely dangerous. The heroes had a tough time defeating him, as his powers are beyond anything they've ever faced. Even though he was eventually stopped, the Beyonder remains a terrifying force in the Marvel Universe. Number 1. Loki, portrayed by Tom Hiddleston, is a central figure in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, known for his cunning and charm. Originating from Asgard as Thor's adopted brother, Loki's character is driven by feelings of betrayal and a deep desire for acceptance and power. His actions often blur lines between villainy and heroism, making him a complex anti-hero. Loki's schemes are intricate, influencing major events across the films. His ability to evoke sympathy amid misdeeds, coupled with his knack for survival and transformation, makes him an enduring and beloved character. His journey involves constant evolution, reflected in his standalone series, where he faces the consequences of his time-manipulating actions, adding layers to his persona and role within the MCU. We've delved into the dark corners of the Marvel Universe, unmasking the most formidable villains. Their stories remind us that every hero faces a great challenge. Who will emerge next to test their might? Keep watching as the saga continues.